Now we move to our mid games where a lot of these games live.
Mood.
And
Right.
I think the definition of a mid game is our first game we're going to talk about. The 2-1 Commanders at the 1-2 Falcons Casino. This game screams mid, uh, beyond mid levels. This is the definition of what a mid game is. We have a backup quarterback with the Commanders that's still a little fun to watch as they were last week. We don't know what we get with the Falcons. Every week it seems like they play a different game of football. So, who you got in this one?
I'm gonna go Washington in this game. I just can't trust what the Falcons did. I mean, you laid up a goose egg against a bad Panthers team.
Yep.
That's not good. That's not good. I mean, we expected a good game with against Tampa, right? Because they just always them and Tampa just always play good games together as of late. Um, I'm gonna go with the Washington Commanders. I liked what Mariota did. He came out, he still showed that he's still a viable backup in this league. And he actually was pretty impressive. I'm a little worried about the health of some of the Washington players. McLaurin, isn't he gone? I think you said he's going to be ruled out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's not great. And then yeah, I think Merritt is a little bit banged up as well. So you got kind of a healthy Atlanta team that is struggling versus a banged up Washington team, but yet with a backup quarterback. But yet I'm still gonna go Washington. Washington's favored by a point and a half, and they're still good. They may be old, they may be falling apart, but I'm still gonna take them.
Since yesterday's game, we were both perplexed how the Raiders lost in the way they did against this Commanders team. I watched that replay of that game yesterday. I still do not understand how the Raiders lost as much as they did to this Commanders team. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, it
when
was all
Geno Smith
turnovers and
played a
rushing.
really great Geno Smith played a really great game.
Yeah, it's confusing to me. Also, what is confusing to me, tell me if this makes sense. Looking at the raw
No, it does
numbers
not.
for this Falcons team, they are 31st in the league, only above the Texans in points per game. They score 14 points per game. They do, however, have currently the second highest time of possession with the football of any of the other 32 teams.
Wow.
So they have the second most time of possession and are scoring the second least amount of points. That makes no sense whatsoever. You think it would be the opposite. So they're holding onto the ball a lot on offense, going up and down the field and not scoring because they also have the 13th most yards per game. So again, they're a good offense that moves the ball up and down the field, but then scored the second least amount of points. That makes no sense whatsoever. And
Does
for
not.
that reason, I'm going to
You're
do my
out.
Shark Tank. I'm out. I'm picking the Commanders.
Sorry,
Uh,
I ruined it for you, but
no, but you
mm,
knew where I was going with
yeah.
it. Now you look at the Commanders, 20th in total defense. This Commanders defense was bad last year. They're worse than they were last year, and somehow they're still 2-1. And after this week, I think they're going to be 3-1. We have so many 3-win teams that I just think are bad teams. It's crazy. Like, or after this week, we're going to have so many three
But then
win
again, we
teams.
have had a lot of juggernaut teams playing each other early on in this season, so
That is very true. And I think by
and there's
week
a
10,
lot this week too.
yeah, I think by week 10, we're going to kind of see the separation of the good and bad teams. But you're right. The first month of the season, they're all kind of jumbled together. I think the Commanders after this week will be 3-1, and I don't think they're a good team. I think that defense is bad, and this offense is not only injury prone, but just weird. Weird. And still they're blowing out the Raiders. So make it make sense. Nothing in this game makes sense. We're both going Commanders on this one. Next up, how about you pick the next one, Casino? Which one do you think is
Um,
the next mid game?
let's go to mine at 10 a.m. on Fox. What do you think? So I think it's a pretty good mid game. The Panthers coming off of a big win, 30-0 against the Falcons, which is huge.
Oh, that's the
Uh,
thing we didn't talk about with their last game. How the hell did the Falcons lose 30-0 in that game with the second best defense in the league? It makes no
so
sense.
there was a thing where it was like the first time I saw it when I was at physical therapy for my quad with the tears that I have, right? I was watching the TV there. Apparently, that was like the first time in I think it said 2 to 3 years or something like that, that a team did not play an offensive snap in the opposing team's 30. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
wow.
That again, nothing with the Falcons, that Falcons team makes sense.
Yeah,
Nothing.
that's
No,
just wild. So,
they have the second ranked total defense and they just gave up 30 points. Still,
yeah,
no sense.
no sense. So moving on with the you got the Panthers, you got the Patriots, you got the game of the PPs. So I'm going, I don't know, just the P. I when I look down back at the screen here in the notes for it, I just saw both capital P's. It just made me laugh. Anyway, I'm a child, everyone. So you got the Patriots, Panthers. I'm going Pats in this game, not because I'm a homer. The fact that the Patriots were within a score to being able to win that game against the Steelers, and they had 5 fucking turnovers, and the Steelers still only put up 21 points. I don't know if that was a worse game by the Steelers or if that was just like I don't understand what happened last week. I've said it many times. I said it last episode. Both of those teams should be 1-2. Because if you go 5 turnovers, you don't deserve to win that game. So I am picking the Patriots this week. I do think they get it done against the Panthers. The Panthers are a worse team than the Steelers. I like the Patriots. I like their run defense and everything with their pass rush. They're able to get and disrupt the quarterback. They're a team that is, they might, I think, even be leading the NFL in sacks, or they're close to it. I think that was something that came across the TV, which kind of shook me. While I'm talking about him, you can look that up for me. Just do
I
sack
wasn't
leader
even
for the
paying attention to what you said.
nice. Look up the sack leader, team with the most sacks this year. But I trust the Patriots. Yes, I don't like their secondary with Christian Gonzalez being hurt and Davis being banged up as well. But I can't see Bryce Young flinging the ball over the offensive line. Um, he will lob the ball up too high. And with the only problem I have with the Patriots, outside of yes, their turnovers last game, is their secondary. I think that they will get it done this game. I think they'll get it done, and I like the 5.5. I have the Patriots by a touchdown easy in this game. I think a touchdown is really good for them, and yeah, I'm going to go the Pats. I just don't trust the Panthers, even what they did to the Falcons last game.
So your New England Patriots are tied for sixth with one,
Okay,
two, three, four, with with three other teams for 9 sacks on the
got it.
season.
I knew that they were doing good in their pass rush, and going against the Panthers, who I don't trust their offensive line that much. I think they'll get to him. I think they'll get to Bryce Young, and if Bryce Young has to throw the ball up, that that gives the secondary a chance to make some plays on it. So Patriots all day, Panthers. Sorry, I want my team to go 2-2 because teams that go 2-2 have a chance to win the Super Bowl.
That'd be so funny if the Panthers
That would
win
be insane.
and then technically they are in running to win the Super Bowl. So when you look at this Panthers team, their defense is allowing or is getting the least amount of sacks in the entire league. So
Mhm.
their defense has only had 1 sack on the entire season. Now, when you look at Drake May, he has been sacked 12 times this season, which is insane because in comparison, Bryce Young has only been sacked 5 times.
Yeah, that's
So,
4 sacks a game. The offensive
yeah,
line, they have a lot more to go. I haven't been super impressed. Yeah, so he if he has time to get the ball out, I think he's gonna be just fine. He's had to make some rush throws, and I do think Travion Henderson is he's gonna get the start because Gibson and Stevenson can't hold on to the ball. I think Travion Henderson gets the start and he's going to protect the football. This is his time to become the number one back, which I thought he would be by the end of the season anyway. So his time's coming early, and I think that he will run all over this Panthers team, and that will open up the passing game for Drake May. Um, so that's where I'm at.
yeah, the Panthers right now are one of the only 10 teams that have allowed over 1,000 yards on the season. They are allowing also some of the highest points per game, yards per game, all that kind of stuff. The Panthers defense is Bad, bad. It's one of the worst in the league, even if it's what is it, behind teams like the Cowboys, Giants, Ravens. Just when you watch this Panthers team, you just realize how bad their defense is. Their offense isn't much better, but it is definitely better. Uh Again, they don't sack the quarterback, but they are tied for third in the entire league with interceptions. I'm picking your Patriots because it's at home and your Patriots should win. I think again, this Panthers team is bad. And if this Panthers team going in to week 5 is 2-2 after how bad this team has played, even after a 30-point win against the Falcons, I don't know. Is the last game against the Falcons where they turn it all around? I doubt it, but yeah, they're 2-2. I don't again, they're 2 and they're 1-2, I'm sorry, and their one win was a 30-point blowout. Nothing makes sense in the NFC South. Literally nothing. Uh Next up, let's go to another mid-game casino and also that was a good pick for a mid-game. That is a great mid-game. That might be the poster child for mid-game, where there's things you want to watch in it, but you don't think it's going to be a good game. Speaking of there's things to watch for, but you don't think it's going to be a good game. I'm putting the 2-1 Jaguars and 3-0
all day.
49ers in the mid. There's no way somebody can say this is going
I'm
to be
not
a good game.
excited for this game.
No.
Again, so I'm going to pick the Niners. They are at home. And the reason why is I think the Jags could possibly be leading this game going into the fourth quarter, but
Yeah.
I don't trust Trevor Lawrence to finish off a game. And the Niners are the night. Sorry, I'm having trouble saying the Niners are going to be 4-0 after this week. Oh, I got it out.
Ugh.
Sorry, I got it out. Whew.
Yeah, Mac Jones, 4 touchdowns, 1
Again, I
interception.
never disliked Mac Jones. I felt bad for it. You can go back and look at all the podcasts. I remember saying all the time, I feel bad for Mac Jones because he was getting nothing but different coordinators and different coaches consistently in his entire time in New England with zero help around him. And
Yeah.
so I mean, going to Shanahan, no matter what we say, and if the Niners go 4-0, you already promised you would give Shanahan you give him a little prop that they're going to go 4-0. I think Shanahan with Mac Jones just works because he needed a very stable offensive coach with pieces around him. Look what Mac Jones can do when he has some help and he has some stability. So I'm rooting for Mac Jones, just Mac Jones to do well because it would prove what I had been saying about him is you needed structure when it came to the offensive coaching and you needed a few pieces around him to get him out of like a third down, 3rd and 7 kind of situation. So that's where I'm at. Mac Jones, he's gonna show up, he's gonna do okay, and they're gonna finish off the Jaguars, who will be leading in the fourth.
Yeah, it seems that Brock Purdy returned to practice today as of 30 minutes ago. Ricky Pearsall will be out for the game with a knee injury. So this is why, like Casino said, I will give credit to what is it? Shanahan if they somehow manage to win this game because at the moment they have no Pearsall. They're just going to have Jennings, Bourne, and then a bunch of guys you've never heard of. Obviously, they still have Christian McCaffrey, which is the, you know, piece on this team that makes the world go round and makes Mac Jones and Brock Purdy's life a lot easier. Now, on the flip side, Trevor Lawrence is having a bad year. He's thrown only 55% completion percentage, 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He's got a 70 quarterback rating. And again, the body language on this team is weird. There's footage in all these games of Brian Thomas Jr. yelling at Lawrence or just not caring. Lawrence yelling at Cohen, his coach, and all this kind of stuff. This team is weird. I don't know how they're 2-1. It would be even weirder if they somehow were 3-1 But it would also be weird if the 49ers are just losing star players every week and go up to 4-0. So I don't know what to make of this game. That's why it's in mid. Honestly, we could have probably put this game in ugly if we really thought about it, because I think this is going to be an ugly game that is going to be borderline unwatchable, which makes no sense how these teams have winning records. But as of right now, it's mid, and I'm going the 49ers. If they start 4-0 with this team, I will legitimately be shocked.
And
But
pissed.
yeah, it'll just I have no idea. Let's move on to the next mid-game casino, which is the 1-2 Bears at the 1-2 Las
1-2
Vegas
Raiders.
Raiders. Raiders, again, I don't know how they lost the way they did last week against the Commanders. Bears, I don't know how they won last week. Uh, uh, or yes, I do. They played the Cowboys and they absolutely them up. But they're not playing the Cowboys every week. They're playing the Raiders this week. I'm taking the Raiders, and the Bears get taken back to reality. Even that being said, the Raiders' total defense is 24th in the league. So their defense is bad. The Bears are worse because they're 29th in the league. So I think Geno Smith had a good game last week. Genty hopefully gets back on track or just starts to get on track this week and runs all over the Bears. I'm going Raiders.
That's fine. The Raiders are the right choice here. Like if there wasn't a certain circumstance, I would be choosing the Raiders. I'm going to choose the Bears. My coworker, who I've talked plenty on this show, he is going to this game with his family, and I'm really hoping that because they're flying in from Chicago, I'm really hoping that the Bears get a win for him. And last week, I finally felt like there was a middle ground between Caleb and Ben Johnson, where they were able to figure out your ad libbing with my structure. I think they figured something out. And that would be kudos to Ben Johnson because obviously Caleb Williams, he can't figure shit out still. And I think Ben Johnson had to kind of dumb it down for him, not calling Caleb dumb. Just again, he's more of an ad libber. He's more of like a Patrick Mahomes kind of style, but without the precision of his passing game. Um, so I am going to go Bears in this. I'm hoping that what they did last week figured it out. I still think the Raiders should win this game and are going to win this game, but I am going to pick the Bears. That is my pick, and it is solely because I want that win for my coworker.
That is very noble of you. Very noble of
I'm gonna
you.
punch him in the face. I see him tonight for a work event that we're going to, that our work's putting on, that I'm gonna tell him that I'm picking his Bears, and I'm going to be very pissed if they lose, and I will punch him in his face.
Yeah, I'm picking the Raiders. I think what is lost to this now, last
I'm
game,
gonna
you
beat my
can't.
wife. I'm gonna punch him in the face. I'm a very violent person today,
Yeah,
apparently.
you're very aggressive today.
Aggressive.
But Caleb Williams on the season, 7 touchdowns, 1 interception, 63% completion percentage. It's good, but again, those numbers are heavily inflated because of the game last week against the Cowboys where he threw 4 touchdowns. But still, the numbers don't lie, even sometimes when they do. Now, the Raiders, on the other hand, their defense is bad. That O line is bad as well. Geno Smith has been sacked 12 times on the season. He's still got an 84 quarterback rating with 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Uh, Again, I'm picking the Raiders, but this looks like a game between two teams that are bad. So that's why it's in mid right here. Last couple mids before we get into some good games, casino, but the I think you have to put this in mid. The Monday night doubleheader, the second
Bengals,
game,
Broncos.
Bengals Broncos. Bengals 2-1, traveling to Denver to take on the Broncos that are shockingly 1-2. Uh, do you think the Broncos finally start getting on the winning side of their record?
I do, and that is mainly because the teams that the Broncos have lost to, they're undefeated right now, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, so you have the Chargers and the Colts, and they should have beat the Colts, but there was that dumb leverage call. I'm going the Broncos, and I know that their defense has been struggling, and we expected their defense. I expected their defense to be one of the best, if not the best, in the league. But the juggernaut Colts and the Chargers, who are just putting up points like it is nobody's business, they look great doing it. The Broncos just have a tough schedule this year. They're getting ready to get into some easier games. They do have your Eagles after this game, but they are going to absolutely mollywomp the Bengals. The Bengals defense is bad. The Bengals team is bad. The only reason that they are somewhat relevant is in just all in all is because they had Joe Burrow, and Joe Burrow is amazing with his connection with Jamar Chase. They played together in LSU, right? They are such a good duo. They are on track. They know what the other person's going to do, and that is so vital. But guess what? You don't have that. And last game it showed because Jamar Chase only had 5 catches for 50 yards, and the majority of that was off of one play. There was like
Yep.
27 yards were off of one play or something like that. So over half. Browning is not the guy. I feel really bad for this Bengals team, for their fans, because this organization won't do anything with a one of the best quarterbacks in this entire league, which is Joe Burrow. How they have not done shit for him is mind blowing. And Jamar Chase, arguably the best receiver in the league, and they won't do anything to make this team better. The Broncos are going to absolutely annihilate this team. Bo Nix, he's playing well. He's just losing to really good teams, and he's losing to good teams by a couple points, right?
Well,
So
the
the
Broncos have lost both their games by a combined score of 4
4
points.
points, yeah.
Yeah.
So like it's gross. The Broncos are good. I am not wavering on that. The Chargers now might win the division just because they got off to the hotter start and they have the tiebreak currently, right? They could even
Over
out,
the Chiefs and Broncos, yeah.
right? So I am still picking the Broncos to have a really really good season here. They'll turn it around again. They've barely lost these games against two teams that are undefeated. So I am going to pick the Broncos. They're going to absolutely make a statement saying we are still good. Yes, we're 1-2 right now, but they're about to go 2-2, and 2-2 teams can't win the Super Bowl.
I mean, that's what I've been told on this podcast.
Yeah, I don't know how
But
many times I have to say it.
also, Bo Nix, people keep saying he's having a bad season. He's got 5 touchdowns, 3
He's not.
interceptions, 83 quarterback rating, 64% completion, and 71 rushing yards. Again, like you said, against 2 teams that were undefeated, and then a team they beat in the Titans in week 1. So the Broncos being bad take has been completely overblown, as much as the Broncos are going to be the best team in the league was overblown before the season started. The
I never said they were
Broncos,
going to be the best team. I just said
well,
they were going to win the
well,
division.
by all metrics at the start of the season, the Broncos were projected to be one of the best teams in the league because they were top 5 in every single category. And still, going into this game, they're still a good team that just got the raw end of the stick on in 2 games where again they lost by a combined score of 4 points. The Broncos defense is still good. They're currently ranked 19th, but again, that's because they've played 2 of the best offenses in the league back-to-back weeks in the Chargers and Colts. So I think this is a make-right game for the Broncos. I
Mhm.
think they kind of get back on track. And like you said, 2-2 going into week 5, that leads you to being a perennial playoff team, which I still think both you and I have the Broncos being. So they're finishing a rough stretch of their schedule. I think they start reeling off some wins maybe after that Eagles game, but they'll win this one, lose to the Eagles, and then start rattling them off. So the Broncos will be 2-2 after this game. We're both picking the Broncos on a just awful Monday night game, awful Monday night slate. You have this game and then Jets, Dolphins. Yuck.
Yuck.
Uh, Next up, is there any mid games left? Oh yeah, there is Sunday night football. Honestly, this should have probably been in an ugly game.
Yeah.
In the ugly mix, 2-1 Packers at 1-2 Cowboys. I think I might retroactively put this in ugly because without CD Lamb, what is this Cowboys offense going to be? This
No.
Cowboys
Yeah, you're
defense
right.
worse
This
worse than
this
the
should have
league.
been in this should have been in the ugly.
Yeah,
This definitely should have been in the ugly. And I don't think we're going Green Bay, right?
yeah,
We're going Green Bay because without CeeDee Lamb, that offense is just going to be a mute point and they're not going to do shit. Again, Dak is a good quarterback. We're not saying that he's not. He's a good quarterback, but he needs his security blanket, which is CeeDee Lamb currently. So it's done. And they don't have a running game. So, and they got one of the worst defense in the league. So Packers, they're going to come back out swinging, and we know what Love can do against bad defense. And that's what's going to happen because the Packers defense is probably going to not let the Cowboys score more than 10 points with CeeDee
Yeah.
Lamb out.
Well, also all the points per game, yards per game, all the offensive stats for this Cowboys team is heavily, heavily inflated from that one Giants game.
Mhm.
Because outside of that Giants game, this Cowboys team has what? They scored 20 points against the Eagles, and then they what is it? Put up 15 points last week against the Bears and lost. So take out that Giants game, and it is, the numbers are heavily skewed to just being bad. So defense also, but see, the defensive numbers are not skewed by that Giants game because their defense was also bad against the
Mhm.
Bears and Eagles. So defense is bad, is the worst in the league currently. Their time of possession, offense, yards per game, again, will heavily be affected by the loss of CeeDee Lamb. So I think this is the perfect make right game for the Packers coming off an ugly loss to that Browns team. They're going to play. They're going to go 1 week from playing the best defense in the league to playing the worst defense in the league. I can't believe this game is on Sunday night. It's going to be and also Packers have just historically played really well in Dallas. If we remember a couple years ago where they went in there and just put up 24 points in a playoff game in the
That
first
wasn't
half,
yeah.
in one of my favorite playoff games ever that didn't include my team. So yeah, this should honestly, we're retroactively putting this in ugly. This is going to be a bad game.